Dal ch zalil Khudayas Daluk navu ch bilkul timan iman makan ch iman dervav iman servav ch bichara.
A number of works have been carried out to ensure that we are able to reduce the pollution load on the lake.
आज तान आय डलस पे अरब बद रुपये खर्च कर मगर डलच जन पन हुस्न खूबसूरती तो पत काल यह रचरावन आय न जिम्मेदारान अमल वर्तावन कहें.
Dal is in misery, and so is Zuna, a Dal dweller, illustriously weaving mats, commonly known in Kashmiri as wagu. For Zuna, the responsibility of her ailing husband, unemployed son, and 2 unmarried granddaughters are a driving force to carry on. Despite its own ailments, it's still the lake that is driving her forward, being the source of the fiber for her mats.
खराबी गई वनकस टेंटन तल अड़ बसान तिमन सहारा बिचारन तिम बनावन जाय 4 गज तथ थक वाटर गवर्नमेंटन कर खराबी डल कन पे.
In his book, The Valley of Kashmir, published in 1895, Walter Roper Lawrence wrote, "Perhaps in the whole world there is no corner as pleasant as Dal Lake. The water of the Dal is clear and soft as silk. And the people say that the shawls of Kashmir owe much of their excellence to being washed in the soft waters of the lake."
Molul kota panun patkal osum, shuhul shejar molvun lal osum, bekadrav panukur olud sorui, sopase aab kya zulal osum.
According to the Lakes and Waterways Development Authority, or LAWDA, human settlement within the heart of the lake is delaying the recovery of Dal, and it has adopted zero-tolerance policy towards the Dal dwellers.
We have a big problem of encroachment around the lake. We have a problem of illegal constructions around the lake. We have put our foot down, and during the last 3 or 4 months we have been able to demolish more than 200 structures, but we often face stiff resistance from areas and for people whenever we go for such kind of demolition. And we should realize that we are all stakeholders, and it is the responsibility of every citizen to safeguard the lake and to ensure that we don't take such steps, we don't do any such thing which would further jeopardize it.
Man dapan chas ba khuday mein bat kar hakan hisab yel no bihan jain ach daras mat ach no dohas aram no ye hayratas kara khandar sum suti bemar tamis bicharas kare variya test hiç khabar khuday se man tamis suti dawa divan ay to saudi lekut shen hatan satan hatan tamis kis chakras dawa khuday es pat gay es faki ka sora chunais
wan me khandar wan chi wago pago wanan but just my 8 months chaman at my sham kya so khama yo hech me kara or yor wagen se pan shus wo bihe as ne road no bagayat कोई नहीं कुछ मत किया
मगर अख चीज़ युस यह सख्ती कर न बनावन तो बेचुना ज़रातस अस वनकस कहें तथ आए 5-7 सैलाब सोत पे यपोर कुन बड़ सैलाब पत तो वह अनहो हिल विल बे खाद यम नाल वाल करो साफ सुथरा तथ अस बन बे सब्जी तथ वन तुम हसा छो पूरा तो नसा यम करो हुपर तोरुक ठाक यपर तोरुक ठाक
न बिहन जाय न कह कत मुसीबत मज फसे ती खबर सानिस खुदायस कत नेचो ओसुम जित बाय सह वूदम खुदायस मुसीबत आमुत क्या दाल हम दाल वनकस वना मुसीबत यह वनकन चुनाई कलान मान ये जन कर वाव रूद कतन गो बस क्या करो.
Lauda never fails to advocate that the Dal dwellers are the real culprits, but its own policies and laid-back approach seem more poisonous for the lake.
इथे पटन करिमो अस काफी वाद अपुज यम सिंह डल तो गो बर्बाद अस गई नफर डलच अस होक न साफ कर डल की.
Lake Authority has been given the mandate to make Rakhat colony, which is a colony, huge colony, a beautiful colony that is coming up in Bimana, where we are going to construct 10,600 plots for rehabilitation of the Dal dwellers. Colony is being developed with wide roads, which no other colony in Srinagar has, which has all other facilities which would be available, with a park in every bay, with facilities like schools, like hospitals, public health centers, graveyards, or shopping areas. All these areas would be taken care of. That is all part of the project, but it is time consuming.
Rakhi Earth is a wetland. Okay. Now, unfortunately, in this state, the wetlands are being treated as wastelands, and we saw its consequences in 2014 floods.
Since the inception of the rehabilitation policy, only 700 families have actually been shifted to Rakhe Earth, and more than 9,000 families are yet to be shifted.
Agar is watun ch bismillah kare. Agar watun ch depi bashirtu yeti. Es karo yeti. Aise os nera muni Kurs near Europe Lachas Nadir, Pansan Sas and Nadir, One Sas and Nadir, Kaos Namiwaka. As what Zaveri Asnasi.
Nama Chalagan Dar, Kadaya, Sonis Kismatos Kahos, Surias near a Mozud, Iman Bijar on the work when the trade at it be. I kept here the Pantka Bany Ice, with Piers Botavus, kind pet Bassavus, Zindgi Mokli, you guys some Zindgi carry.
The very few families they have rehabilitated, rather relocated, complain that they have been pushed into a hell of sorts.
मकान बनाए छुस मैं मकान संग बसा किएं थे ये बनो मेरा ख्याल तो समझे मकान मगर क्या छुस न बसा मकान को क्रैक मकान को डैमेज बवजह को मकान डैमेज कॉलोनी वजह से जल यम पक मकान छ आसान पक मकान में डर आसान यम मकान गए से पेट पे अस अयाल बचाने खतर पन बच बचाने खतर त्रो मे मकान थी बहुत बस बे डरस मज वापस बसने खतर
तुम सब ये मकान हालात क्या मतलब डैमेज सोरे गो अगर दानियत क्या गो बहुत गस अयाल सो तय वन बस अयाल बस बेकुश पत खुदायस बात अगर तत जमीन ज़रात क्या हम सह सोरे ये कून सह लोग ये
There are people who have a problem with shifting to Rakhat colony, but I am sure that we will be able to provide to them a good colony, good facilities where they can lead a better life than they do in the lake. At the same time, I have also recommended to the government to do something about the livelihood. We have a program which we have prepared, which is under submission to the government with regard to livelihood, where they could be given certain skills, vocational training, some technical skills, in view of what expertise they have or what expertise they already have, what expertise they already possess, maybe some soft loans, maybe some incentives in order to start some kind of business on their own. So we are trying to look at that also.
यह आर काम बगियो कलम काम बस यह वागे पता योना अत पे ताग दपान खुदाया यह मान अथ यवान
मगर तजे सर बड़ा वो जमीन वो ज़रात वो दर बदर सह मा वजह वो वापस अच्छा लागत लगान तो लिहाजा अनिक वो यूर यस फलट तजे सह जनाब ये कहें
तम लड़ीज यम सुबह नान खोर कड़ान घास कड़ान या सब्जी वदान यम रोपे दस जानान ये बेकारी
अत जमीन दुक आट नूना क्या आट नूना दुक खास आव न अत कहें तो आयस योर ये कह डेवलपमेंट ये कॉलोनी ये ड्रेन न कह चीज न खोर न बनो कोर मजूर मशकत कर वो गई 2-4-5 वरी ये बसान तो बस सठा मुश्किलात
यदि तिमन आसे फैसिलिटी तन तिम क्या यहन वापस चलित या तिम दपहन नसा बसव ना यह हसा मकान दरान हसा गसान दल दल अत जमीनस अत गिरान मकान अत नसा कह जमीनस ताकत लिहाजा तम खुद बेहतर ये डल सी मन.
Here what we do is that we are shifting the people and then we are arranging things for them, putting them to misery. A program which would be very appreciable if things are arranged and people love to go there is made a misery for them so that they go and they are put in hardship, suffering on account of these civic amenities. So nobody likes to go.
As per the recommendations of the National Institute of Technology, they have mentioned it is not fit for the construction, but some ground improvement techniques should be adopted. First of all, filling is there. Second, they have recommended raft and pile foundation. Also, we are living in an earthquake zone. Such type of structures cannot bear such type of loads, and there may be some settlement problems and number of damage can be occur at that time. And it is very difficult to make such structures earthquake proof.
Lauda and the Dal dwellers are both throwing blame ball in each other's court.
We have a program of acquisition of structures and land under the PMRP, which is the Prime Minister's program. And under that, we are going to be acquiring most of the areas of the lake. There are certain areas which have already been acquired. So we are trying to dredge those areas and improve and increase the water expanse. It is impossible to safeguard our lake, or it is impossible to conserve Dal Lake unless we have people's participation.
The lake is providing shelter to nearly 10,000 families in 58 separate hamlets. The inner areas of the lake are populated by around 70,000 people, and Lauda is on heels to shift these families. They have been on heels for decades now. But the question is, what have they been able to do?
वापस योर तक फैसिलिटीज कहें चूंकि सह देहाती इलाका तक कारोबार कह रोजगार कमाओ कह ये पन रोजगार कमान जमींदारी करान गार्डन सी करान मुख्तलिफ कम करान ये पकनान पन आयाल बच्चे बच्चे पर्न सालिम बह गई खुश मे दोप गई ये मुसीबत गो बेस गो तक आबाद बच्चे पर्नो स्कूल हस्पताल तमाम फैसिलिटी रोजान तत टोटल कहें यमो वो हसा करो तुम रिहेबिलिटेटिंग प्रोग्राम कर अलबत्ता कर डिसलोकेट अक जाए पे तुलान बे जाए त्रावान मतलब अक वाटर बॉडी मज तुलिक बेस मज त्रयिक.
Government is just for get rid of these people from the lake, and that policy is also faulty. We have seen how the people were moved. A significant number of people were moved from here to Rakhyarth or to the boatmen's colony in Bemina.
This has been a concern. There are people who have been resisting, obviously, since they have been living in the lake for many years now, many decades now. So there is a certain amount of resistance to shifting to that. But I'm sure that we will be able to provide them with all the facilities. We'll be able to help them rehabilitate honorably.
It has been years since the rehabilitation plan was set into action. But as of now, the numbers are not on Lauda's side.
तमिस को सूरत सतन पीरन मीरास त्राव यह कपर फेर महकम पे महकम बे अनपढ़ यपर जमींदार तबक सानि खतर बनो यमो तूता मुसीबत नतीज द्राव प्रोजेक्ट वो अगर प्रोजेक्ट वोल कह सह दपान अहन सा बब सद वक्त वन डलस वोथुन ये कहें ग तुम थो गैर आप तम शर्मंद लोकल मुलाजिम शर्मंद गपान सा तुम नायम से.
In the tug of war between the two parties, it's the Dal that is ending up on the losing side.
आज डल नवियत यह अगर 5-6 वरियन 2 वरियन थक लगे बूम आम दरियावस निशात कर क्रॉस इंसान सह तर हजरत बल बराबर पैदल वरियस 2 वरियन तक अगर न कड़न क्या डल वाले रूज नी दिलचस्पी डल वाल छकरक वक्त वात डल वालन बे वापस तजुब वन योतुन तिम निम्न आज तक कसम खुदा सुन डल खतर गसन मजबूर यमन वापस डल वालन दबक ये करू सा साफ कर कुछ डल वालन बगैर.
Dal is quietly bearing witness to the fights of the people whom it provides livelihood to and those who claim to be its saviors.
Measurement of the lake was recorded by Lawrence in 1895, and as per those records the area of the lake was about 25.7 square kilometers, and now recently we have had the satellite imagery done through the remote sensing department, environment and remote sensing, and Deputy Commissioner Srinagar has also used ETS machines to measure the size of the lake, and today it shows that the size of the lake is about 25.5 square kilometers. So it is almost the same as it was more than 120 years ago. Then when you talk about the water expanse, during Lawrence's time it used to be about 18 square kilometers, and right now the water expanse is about 20 square kilometers. So the water expanse has not shrunk, but it has in fact increased as per these reports.
Though the lake area has not shrunk significantly, almost same area, but what has changed, if you look within the lake, the water spread, which in 1859 was something like 23 square kilometers, is reduced to less than 11 square kilometers today.
Obnoxious weeds are like a disease to the Dal, and mechanical method of deweeding is carried out as a solution to the burning issue of weeds. But experts and locals who are familiar with the lake say these machines are not going to be of any help. The weeds need to be removed from their roots, which is possible with manual deweeding.
ये कड़ा साफ ये डिपार्टमेंट त्रमस कम ठेकेदार जरिए तो करा साफ तो ये वायान लिवन अत वन लिवन पन पे यह वायान तो कड़ान ये मूल अद क्या यह गज मूल हेत नीर डिपार्टमेंट मकसद गोसन 2 वन पे साफ ये यमो 2 वन त्रमस टेंडर यह गोसन साफ 2 वन
यह मैनुअल डिवीडिंग अत मे बूम अत जन पे वन बुम मोंड सह अना मूल कड़ित तम पे तक पॉसिबिलिटी आसान कह सह हे यस जन वन ब्या मैकेनिकल डिवीडिंग तिम फॉर एग्जाम्पल शेव जन करान इत आज कोर इंसान शेव तो 8 दो गस बे आमुत वापस इथे कन अत मज हुत मे पे पॉसिबिलिटी आसान कह तिज अपरूटेड करान.
We have a dearth of manpower when it comes to manual deweeding because this is a technical job. It is not something that anybody can do. You have to be an expert to be able to do this, which the Dal dwellers are, and there is a dearth of labor when it comes to manual deweeding. There are also seasons. I would in fact say that there are experts who tell us that you should not carry out this manual deweeding at times and in seasons and give the lake bed some rest, because there are such microbes, there are such other things which are at the lake bed which normally are disturbed and rise up when manual deweeding is carried out. So there are different times when different methods are used and we are trying to make best use of them.
आज ब्रोट 3 वर डालुक आब इस्तेमाल पानस करान चवान यार बलन तले आब खारान नलके तीत तिमन दोहन कह आज प्रत गरस 10 नलके 12 नलके मगर तुम वो डलक सदी खतर बनो जहरीली आब इन हेकान वनक स्नान तम
अन हू तेल ये छोव डाल सानवई अनपर जिठव रथ रोव डाल परमुत्यो ओलूद कोर होट चूरहस रच दरवई त्रेश पथरस पोव डाल.
Not to be oversympathetic with the dwellers who claim to be in love with the lake, but their actions speak otherwise. They own the waters and are responsible for succumbing to greed and filling the lake for growing vegetables and other activities.
Through Sashahat Canal, total vegetable land. तम कि रिवर नीट एंड क्लीन रोजान शीत ब्रोह ये कह अथॉरिटी कह गवर्नमेंट साइड कह अथॉरिटी शीत ब्रोह कित पे नीट एंड क्लीन Dal Lake.
Now, if you look at the water quality of this lake, even in 70s and 80s, even in 70s definitely people were drinking this water without any treatment. Now if you look at today, if you look at the nutrient loading of this lake, the phosphorus, the nitrate, the chlorides, they have increased by magnitude, by 5 times, 6 times, 7 times.
Whether it is Lauda or the dwellers, at present both are failing the Dal. It is lying there quietly and dying an unnatural death.
Dal क्या जो साफ ब्रीम ज़मानस में Dal क्या सुबह वोथित वोथान आत खैर को डाइसे गास को डाइसे आत हिलबो डाइसे ये इसिम तुलान बेओस नादुर ये सारी को अहम नादुर चुगाला वारियन गास ज़त नादुर सिंह छूडू के जरस बूझ मुझे लारन साबन चु लोगन पन्नी किताब में विशु नाव तमिक याद के मगर तालीम याफ्तम चु बूझ मुझ अगर से ये डाल वोथ नादुर बचे उस
कोच बसान शालमोर निशात बसान कुछ बसान सैलिम डालस में दरगाह के बसान
Dallas yim död nowrik kar balan tim so dag lalwan az amchi wopar chim phapar garzik nowir has an badnas timai lutan chis yim rösh thawim.
We already have about 5 treatment plants working all around the lake. 3 are in the immediate vicinity of the lake. There is one in Hazratbal, there is one in Lam, there is one in Habak, and then we also have 2 more treatment plants, one in Nala Mir Khan and also one in Brari Nambal. So all 5 treatment plants are functional. Most of the area which was being catered to by the lake authority has already been covered, and the area, especially the hotel area of Dal Lake and Buchwara and Nishat and Hazratbal and Habak, all these areas have full connectivity now, so no raw sewage is entering the lake from those sides.
Despite a scheme that has been going on for the last 35 years, where some sewage lines have been laid, but nothing much has been, that is yet to fructify, because that is a multi-pumping scheme that they have made. Some of the pump stations also have been completed, but the ultimate connectivity has still not been achieved.
Houseboats are an important part of Dal, and sewage from these needs to be treated. A policy for relocation of houseboats has been created, but is that the right way to go?
A program for shifting of the houseboats, which is these 380 houseboats in the front side of the Dal Lake. They are being shifted to Doldum. The project has already been approved by the cabinet.
Let me tell you, Doldum area of the lake is where we have the maximum number of lake bed springs, which are responsible to contribute 30% of the lake water. Right now the houseboats are at the tail end where the water is exiting. The pollution exits out of the lake from those areas. But if you take them upstream, then you are having an apprehension that any mishap can also pollute that area of the lake, and that would be a very serious pollution.
These houseboats would be shifted to the Doldum area, which are 5 bays, and in these 5 bays we will be able to put 76 houseboats in each bay having its own treatment plant, so that we are able to control the sewage that comes out of the houseboats as well.
Government is thinking that they can handle the houseboats along the Doldum. Then my question is, why can't they handle these populations on the hamlets? Give them the sewage treatment there and let them remain to the extent you want to keep them. Why are you relocating them?
I mean, we remove half of the landmass from the lake and then move these people into the other half. Densified, we are saving the lake, we are increasing the open waters of the lake, and at the same time we are putting the same people in the other part and providing them STPs, providing them, linking them, their livelihood to the tourism activity, providing them a more environmental friendly livelihoods.
We all want to save Dal, or at least say so, but that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon.
Our aim should be to conserve as much area as is left, and then conserve it in a scientific, sustainable manner, so that for future generations we have something to offer. and we have an asset created. Rather than leave it to decay or leave it to get silted up, as we have done for Gilsar and Kushalsar, we have nearly lost those lakes. For that matter, even Anchar. Anchar Lake also, lot of it has been encroached upon. So if encroachments are allowed to continue, the lake areas will shrink.
With a huge population of people on all sides of the lake, be it the western side or the eastern side or all other sides, all around the lake there is a huge population of Srinagar city that resides. And then we also have Dal dwellers who live inside the lake, 58 habitations that are inside the lake. So it is quite evident, it's obvious that we will have some kind of pollution, and it is affected by human intervention.
That let us define the lake boundaries and let us conserve that defined lake boundary. Let's not allow any encroachment beyond that.
We should also understand, while we may have expectations, while we may think that, okay, the lake should be very clean, every person feels that, every person wants that. I want that all the time. I want my lake to look very nice. I want expert opinion on how to do it, but it's not always very easy. It's not always to follow some opinion. There is no magic wand, and there is no one opinion which I can get and get everything cleaned and done.
Dallas Dal Development Authority आई करने यात लावड़ा वनान छे तो ताऊ त्योर डाल पन्निस हसीयतस मज शूज शोभदार त हसीन.
If we look at the problems of the Dal Lake, we have failed to provide a vision for the restoration of this lake. So there have been ad hoc measures here and there, and they have led us to nowhere. That's a fact.
The present state of affairs is screaming loudly that we are headed to the doom of Dal, and with it, the doom of Zuna's family and many like hers is inevitable.